Brilliance Audio presents The Glamourist by Luanne G. Smith. Performed by Susanna Jones. Elena and Jean-Paul arrived in the city on the afternoon train, leaving themselves just enough time to forward their luggage before hailing one of the now ubiquitous motorized cabs. They were headed to the campus of ancient buildings on the south side of the North Bridge, summoned there by the Ministry of Lineages and Licenses. The address, written in bold type at the top of the telegram, clearly stated Elena was to report to 333 Rue de Courbet. After double-checking the number above the door, she tucked the summons back in her purse and tried to hide her nervousness with a tight, confident smile. "Are you sure this is the place?" Jean-Paul glanced up and down the street as if they'd somehow made a mistake. He tried the door, finding it locked. She supposed to the mortal eye the plain blue door tucked in the alcove at the mouth of the narrow lane did have a rather unremarkable appeal. There was no name on the doorplate, no welcoming urn of flowers beside the threshold, and, well, not even any evidence the door was anything more than a servant entrance rarely used. And yet, it radiated with the proper hum of official witch business. That droning buzz of documents being psychically scrutinized and signed just on the other side. She could almost hear the muttering of ink spell incantations. "I'm certain," she said, and turned the handle without feeling the least bit of resistance. Jean-Paul removed his grey Homburg and followed Elena inside the official entrance to the Ministry of Lineages and Licenses. He was often forced to trust her instincts when it came to the world of magic, something he'd gradually come to accept in the short time they'd been together. His willingness to open his heart and mind to a world mostly invisible to his senses was one of the many things she admired about him. Inside, the lobby smelled of layers of bureaucracy, built up over years of casual disregard for logic and ease of function, but with the not unpleasant aroma of freshly prepared café au lait wafting in from a nearby office. Papers shuffled and reshuffled themselves between inboxes. Enchanted typewriters filled out forms, then spit them into piles to be sorted and mailed. And against the far wall sat a row of doves on a perch waiting to deliver messages within the city limits. Every time one shook out its feathers, a downy fluff rose up to further bedeck the portrait of the Prime Minister hanging above them. Elena tried hard not to inhale the listless office air too deeply, lest the smell invade her lungs and render her as permanently apathetic as the clerk greeting them glassy-eyed over the tops of his half-moon glasses. "Mademoiselle Boureanu, here to see Minister Durand," Jean-Paul said in his most lawyerly tone. The gentleman lowered his gaze and rummaged through a stack of forms on his desk. "Ah, yes. The double licensing case. This way," he said after plucking up a stack of yellowed onion skin papers. The documents appeared to be handwritten in a florid, old-world style of calligraphy, unlike the typewritten ones piling up on the desk behind the clerk. Elena and Jean-Paul followed the spectacled man through a swinging mahogany gate to a private office at the rear of the hall. The clerk knocked 3 times before opening the door and escorting them inside. He placed the documents on the oversized desk beside the new application already there, then retreated, leaving the couple to wait in the pair of hard wooden chairs provided. Not a minute later, a lean gentleman in a mauve frock coat and matching bow tie entered and shook Jean-Paul's hand. To Elena, he bowed his head curtly. "Mademoiselle, I appreciate you coming to the city on such short notice." Minister Durand sat behind his enormous desk, tapping his fingers in an odd sort of rhythm, as though conducting a silent drumbeat spell. The faint scent of ink bloomed in the air. She watched him take a quick inhale before opening his desk drawer and retrieving a fountain pen and magnifying glass. "Mademoiselle Boureanu is happy to comply with the court order," Jean-Paul stated, brushing a smudge of coal soot from the train of his hat.